Hey, Brian Inskip here on Oak Island with Surf Homes NC, and I've got a market update for you for March of 2023. There's been some exciting things going on continually in the Oak Island market, and that has continued through the month of February as we get into March here. Today I'm bringing you this update from my latest listing here on Oak Island, which is 3905 East Oak Island Drive. As you can see, it's got some amazing views of Davis Canal and ocean views from every level of the house, so be sure to check that listing out. I'll probably have a link down below for you to check that one out. But let's talk about the overall Oak Island real estate market. So through the month of February, we actually saw a year-over-year decrease in the average sales price on Oak Island. So sales price decreased 5.5% on average over a year prior. Now, before you start to think one way or another about that number, whether it's exciting to you, whether it's disappointing to you, make sure you watch this whole video because there's more to that story. And as I share all the stats and we look at the market as a whole, you're going to start to really understand where the Oak Island market is actually at right now. So another key stat that we look at is how many new listings are on the market, coming to the market right now. So we're actually down 9.6% versus what was happening a year ago on new listings coming to the market. That just means there's not as many homes coming on the market as there was a year ago. That keeps inventory down. The homes for sale, the actual number of homes for sale though, is actually up 167.3% over this time last year. But month over month, so compared to last month, we're actually down 12.2%. So while we're over where we were last year, we're starting to see a downward trend where that inventory is starting to get reduced. The number of pending sales on Oak Island for the month of February was down 16.7 when compared to a year ago. But again, if we look at the month over month numbers, it was actually up 12.2%. So there were 12.2% more homes that sold in February versus January. So again, that shows that upward trend line and that momentum building in the market as it's continuing on a upward trend. So the next thing that we look at is the closed sales. How many homes are actually selling, making it to the closing table and exchanging hands. Year over year, closed sales was down 17.4% through the month of February over the prior month, the prior year. But again, month over month, it was actually up 26.4%. So we closed 26.4% more homes in February than we did in January. Again, that's starting to show that upward trend and where the market is moving this year in 2023. The days on market, that's up 125% year over year, but we're still just looking at 45 days average on the market. So we saw that number starting to climb. And that's really residual from some homes sitting on the market through a softer period that we saw mid to end of year in 2022. But I think that number is going to come down rather quickly as we get more into the spring and summer in 2023. The inventory or the supply of homes is up 285% over a year ago. But again, month to month, it's actually dropped by 10%. So we're looking for some of those numbers to start to normalize as we go through the spring and summer market. The median of the last list price that a property was sold for, so this is what we call the list to sell price ratio, that was down 1.7% from a year ago this month, but up 0.8%. So not a huge gain month over month. We're sitting at about 97.5% is the average list to sell price. So based on what a seller is asking to what a property actually sold for, the average is 97.5%. There's lots of properties that are selling at a higher ratio than that and some that are selling at a lower ratio, hence the average. All right, so the stats that I shared so far kind of make you feel like the market might be taking a turn towards the negative and values might be declining and things like that. But this last stat I want to share with you tells a totally different story. And that's what you have to do when you're looking at the market, is look at all the stats, because it's all of them combined that really give you an understanding and a pulse on the market. So the average price per square foot for homes on Oak Island as of February, the end of February, is up 11.1% on Oak Island over the prior year. That's a huge gain, and what that indicates is that values on Oak Island are actually up, not down, from a year ago. Even though that first stat that I shared with you for the home values, that actually showed a pretty substantial decrease year over year, this stat is showing that values on Oak Island are actually up 11.1%, and this one trumps the home sales value. So when we look at these two together, what we can understand is that that first stat doesn't mean that values are down. It means that we had more smaller square footprint homes selling at that time than we do this time. So that also indicates a shortage right now of larger square foot homes. So I hate to say it, but if you were a buyer hoping that values are down at the moment, that's not the case. But I will throw a word of caution out there. The way these numbers are trending is looking similar to past years, where there's a good chance that we're going to actually see value increase throughout the year on Oak Island. Now, nobody has a crystal ball. I watch the numbers every single month to help me understand where the market's going and help my clients make great decisions. If you're thinking about selling or buying, first thing to always do is just reach out to me. We'll start a conversation. We'll start talking about what some of your goals might be and look at your options. That's my first job, is always to help line out your options so that you can choose the one that best matches up with your goals. So give me a call, give me a text anytime. I hope you enjoyed this market update. Again, I do these every month. So if you want to subscribe and get this every month and make sure you're staying on top of the market, be sure to do so. And if you have any questions, just give me a shout.